The University of Maine Alumni Association Alumni Career Award is presented by Eaton Peabody, Attorneys at Law.
Ambassador White didn't start out as a U.S. ambassador, right? She started out in USAID. She was a country director in Liberia, and Secretary of State Clinton at the time pulled her into the Ambassador Corps. She is a roll up her sleeves, get down and dirty, get into the mud, and that's what USAID is about.
As the United States of America, we are that beacon on the hill, and we need to shine that light everywhere that we go. And in order to do that, you can't shine the light inside an office. You can't shine the light hidden inside the embassy. So no matter what was going on, any hurricanes, trembles, even gangs, I was out in the streets all the time showing the people that the United States of America cares about you. I care about you.
She was incredible at that, but others saw, including the Secretary of State at the time, and some others saw her ability to go ahead and come to a different level, a higher level perhaps, as a U.S. ambassador representing our country. She's had this amazing connection with the university, not just students in our program, but students across the campus.
Ambassador White was more than enlightening. She was very inspiring. Last semester in the fall, she spoke to the entire class about her experience.
I was with the minors, I was with the school children, I was with anywhere that I could find anyone that wanted to talk to me about getting better, how they needed a well, or they needed education, or they needed just a little bit of money. And we did that with people who looked to us for help, and we gave it around the world. It was just a fabulous feeling to know that my country was being so much respected around the world.
Ambassador White answered the call from Washington, but even more so, she answered the call to all of those countries that she went to and worked in.
And to answer the call and to go to the countries where she has made such an impact is so critical to our nation, to the world, and frankly, to the University of Maine. She's not only inspiring students, she's inspiring faculty and leaders.
Secretary Clinton had come to Liberia with her chief of staff, Cheryl Mills, and we were yickety-yakking, and the ambassador at that time was Linda Thomas Greenfield. At the end of that visit by Secretary Clinton, Secretary Clinton told Cheryl, who told me, that we're going to make you an ambassador. And I said, well, I've heard that before. And she said, have you ever heard it from the Secretary of State? Well, no, not the Secretary of State. That's true. So about 3 or 4 months after that, I got a phone call and said, would you be the ambassador to the Gambia, which is a little tiny country. And I said, well, yeah, but they once I'm ambassador, no one's calling me Madam Ambassador here. And I really want that. I want to end like that. Then about 6 months after that, the phone rings, and it's President Sirleaf, Linda Thomas Greenfield, Secretary Clinton, and Cheryl, and they're all in Liberia at the inauguration of Sirleaf's second term. And then, we wish you were here, we wish you were here, yeah, I wish I was here too. And then President Sirleaf says, Pam, you've got to come back here as ambassador. 3 days before I get that phone call, I get a phone call from Cheryl, and Cheryl says, Secretary Clinton wants you to be ambassador to Haiti.
I am not surprised that there were countries, a number of countries, vying to have Pam White serve as the U.S. ambassador in their country. It speaks of her personal characteristics, of her personality, of her friendship to people, and their ability to communicate some very sound values. People know that she really wants to work on their behalf. Clearly, Pam had an interest in public service from the very beginning.
At my school, at a little high school in Auburn, a team, the first and last team that ever came from Peace Corps, Washington, came to my high school and said, listen, there's a better way, there's another way of representing the United States in the world. And you can do it through peace and through personality and through people, and not through guns and not through war. And I thought, I went home, my dad, who was a Marine, a former Marine, never a former Marine, whatever. And I said, I am going to join Peace Corps. This is the best thing. I've never heard of this. It's a wonderful idea. I can do this. I understand what it's about. And my father said, like hell. I don't think so. Going to Africa or, Latin, South America or whatever, absolutely no. And I went to Africa and I joined Peace Corps thinking I'm going to make them better. I'm going to make my village better and I'm going to make everyone better. And oh my God, it won't be wonderful. But at the end of 2 years, I think I was a little bit a better person of what I learned from them.
As a woman serving abroad, she was there to do some really impactful work, but I think there's certainly barriers in that space Ambassador White had to navigate. The way she did so was eye-opening for us, but also very inspiring in the sense that it can be done. You don't have to be marginalized in the international public service space. I think that Ambassador White not only navigated her way around political and cultural barriers, but she broke through them.
That description as a navigator is a very good one. She has the winning personality to be able to deal with people in many cultures and to make friends of those that she works with.
Pam's an amazing navigator, and as a U.S. ambassador, that's a skill that all ambassadors should have. They don't all have it, but Pam has those skills beyond all pale.
Absolutely. I love that term. I am a navigator.
Ambassador Pam White has changed countries, and she came from this campus.
Pam White has been able to do some incredible work using her UMaine degree, and I think that's very inspiring for students like me at UMaine.
She has taught, she has mentored, she is a wise advisor and a persuasive advocate.
An incredible example of leadership, power, especially to young women, about how to stand up for who you are and what you can accomplish.